Oh my god, bro, they actually did it. I thought their low point would be stealing iconography from the most popular anime manga in the world right now. Okay, continuing to desecrate Japanese lore to a point where they get brought in front of the Japanese government. I thought that was the bottom. I thought that was the most embarrassing they could get prior to release. But no, in light of all of that bad publicity, having to publicly apologize for stealing the banner of a rifle corps, the Sekigahara Rifle Corps. They had to apologize for wholesale stealing it. They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and now they're getting caught with their hands in even more compromising positions. As the new report claims, same-sex romance options confirmed, not just speculated anymore, not just a certain interpretation of certain lines and promotional material. No. If you want Yasuke to bend over and think of Nobunaga, he can go ahead and turn your butthole into a sheath for his sword, because that's what Assassin's Creed is all about now, guys. Don't worry about it. No buts about it. Unless we're talking about the romance options. A new report claims that Ubisoft is indeed including same-sex romance options for their upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows games. That's the look of, oh man, we got new romance options, and then, oh no, I'm the bottom. YouTuber Jor Raptor reported on X that both Yasuke and Naoi have a unique romances. Yes, we can go ahead and we can pretend to play sword and sheath, and Naoi can bang together shurikens as much as possible. Very dishonorable actions. He then added, same-sex romance is back for both characters. Fantastic. In a YouTuber video, Jor Raptor added, romance are back, and seems like they're going to work a bit different this time. For one, just like in Odyssey and Valhalla, they can still choose to pursue romantic relationships or not, but because there are two differently playable characters, they will now have both their own unique romances, because that's what I want. You know, stealth gameplay, unique historical settings, and butt sex. That's what I'm looking for. As aspects to bring me back to a franchise that I used to be an ardent supporter for. All the way up until and including Black Flag, which I played a couple of minutes of, and it's like, yeah, I'm probably good. I bought all the collector's editions. I bought all of the collector's editions guides back when that was a thing for Assassin's Creed. I still have all the guides. I think I have all my old game guides packed up. Some of those are actually worth quite a bit of money. I used to be a huge Assassin's Creed fan, and it's just, I've seen everything that they've done post Unity, and I don't care. Like, it doesn't even pique my interest a little bit. Like, Egypt could have been cool. Vikings are neat. Okay, Rome, I would love to traverse Rome. It's just, and now you got what was always one of the coolest potential settings in feudal Japan, and you want to focus on a shinobi that shouldn't be a shinobi and a black samurai. Bro, you fumble a bag this hard. He continued, there will be same-sex romance options for both characters, just like the previous RPGs. Yes, the ones that did so well, but it seems that the overall focus is a lot more on platonic relationships. Oh yes, a bunch of firm handshakes, so without the romantic features, which is fine, man. Like, I don't, it's so pathetic. Okay, it's like when I play a game, I don't know, maybe call me a prude or something like that, because I don't know, maybe I'm just a prude in contrast to the just overt and overly sexualized culture that we live in. Hate to be, you know, the old man yelling at crowds. It's just, I don't want to think about that stuff when I'm playing a game, okay? That's what's so cool about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yes, another reference. There's a lot of chicks thirsting after Cloud in Remake and in Rebirth. Jessie, Tifa, Aerith, random people, but you know how it's developed? It's not any of these clunky mechanics where, you know, potentially you could get a scene of just awkward model rubbing together and strange dialogue after this, you know, janky cutscene. Makes sense, you know, from a dialogue and character interaction perspective. Almost like it's natural, and you don't have to flout it as a feature in your feature-rich, but ultimately featureless game, because Ubisoft, in a post, the Far Cry 3 Assassin's Creed 2 world, where they basically cut and pasted all of their game design and haven't iterated on it much since then. Kind of like the whole the Bethesda thing, right? Where you've got oceans worth of content, but it's about as deep as a puddle. There's a lot of stuff to do. There's just not a lot of substantive stuff to do. That's the problem with Ubisoft games. And that's how the stigma of open world games ended up getting painted with that brush, because they're the most public abusers, the most public abuser of that system. And anything that dares to be open world has to overcome that hurdle. So Davies added, so it's not like a dating simulator where we do have really more serious relationships, long-term relationship to develop, some lighter romances as well, but you know some of these people quite well and pursue something. Fantastic. As for who can be romanced, Joe Raptor speculated. We already know some key characters like Oda Nobunaga, don't you do it, one of the most powerful men of the era, who will give a prominent role to Yasuke, even more than he actually traditionally had in his army. And Fujibayashi Nagato, I think I got that right, Naoi's father. But there will be way more characters we meet, of course, and I don't care. I really don't care, man. This is boring as all hell. It's just hilarious how they can continue to stumble and stagger their way to the finish line. Ubisoft never change. He also stated, by the way, also learned that we cannot miss any romance options depending on the choices. Yes, exactly. That's the most important thing about portraying feudal Japan. What about the man-boy love? That was really important according to the activist consultant that we brought on for story notes. That's the most important thing. As apparent confirmation comes in wake of a blog post published by Ubisoft in May. Well, it was all the way back then, huh? That stated Naoi and Yasuke's disparate personalities also lead them to have a very different relationship and rapport with other characters, and they don't always feel the same way about people, nor do people always feel the same way about them. Yeah, because there's a black samurai beheading Asians, okay? There's a samurai. Okay, even just take the race aspect out of that. You have a samurai, one of the most respected and honored positions in feudal Japanese history, running around doing that type of stuff in public, and then you're even taking a historical figure and changing his role and amplifying it for diversity reasons. Like, what are we doing here? There was a point in time where I could have been excited by this because, yeah, there's a big push for feudal Japanese inspired or set games. Like you have Ghost of Tsushima, Sekiro, Nioh. All of those games, they're all Souls-like or Souls-adjacent games, right? Sekiro, obviously, that's a FromSoft game. Nioh has those same tendencies, and I'm pretty sure Ghost of Tsushima is right up there as well. Now, those games aren't really my style, but, you know, a good action game. Hell, even a Ubisoft game, okay? If it was done right, if there was a cool samurai, okay, if there was some actual stealth gameplay to be had with a proper assassin, not some girl boss who's ultimately going to end up being the hero of the story because, of course, it's modern day, it's Ubisoft after all, let's not delude ourselves even further. If we could have done something approaching normal, you might have caught me slipping. I might have picked this up on a sale and enjoyed it, but now with everything that we know about this, I'm not coming within 100 feet of this game. No. Even if they just airdrop it onto everybody's Steam account, I'll flip it on the marketplace. Like, what are we doing? Next, they discuss romance options. Romantically, they will also attract and be attracted to different types of people. Through the pair, players will get to experience a multitude of relationships. Yeah, of course, that's important. What about gameplay? You can decide what things go where. Oh, fantastic. It also comes in the wake of a game director, Charles Benoit. Oh yeah, informing Xbox Wire. The intention behind the game is to teach players about the history of Japan during the Sengoku era, which the game is set in. Benoit said, we are at the end of the Sengoku era, a turning point in Japanese history. Assassin's Creed is a well-known depiction of the history and accurate recreation of the world, and that's what players can expect with Assassin's Creed Chateaus. We are showing real historical figures such as Oda Nobunaga and a lot of events that happened during that time. So you're not only playing in feudal Japan, but not slipping an Asian accent, but learning about the fantastic time period. Also, we're giving the opportunity of players to live not just one, but the two best fantasies of Japan, the samurai and the shinobi. And yeah, man. Could have been a hit on your hands, but you couldn't let sleeping dogs lie. Bring back that franchise, by the way. Had to go ahead, stick a chick in it, or a dude in this case, and make it lame, and make everybody gay. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.